Get started. I am pleased to announce, or I am pleased to introduce Oscar. He's the digital manufacturing manager at DenMat. They're one of the most cutting edge laboratories globally. And as you'll be able to see how they use their digital technology. And he's been with DenMat for the past 9 years, leading their additive and subtractive manufacturing. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Oscar. Go ahead and share the screen.
Hi, how's everyone doing? I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with you guys now. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna be talking to you guys about how we took our production to the next level. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about DenMat. DenMat was founded in 1974. We currently have our main lab in Lompoc, California. As you can see, we have a pretty big building. We have a total of 115 locations globally, roughly about 86,000 customers. We are a full service digital laboratory. Some of the products we offer are luminaires, Snap-on Smile, and art cases, clear liners, crown and bridge and implants, mouth guards, and our Perio Restore product. This is a little side image of our CAD/CAM department. This is also another image of our 3D printing department. It has really grown the past year. I would say it roughly about doubled. So that's really good. All right, let's talk a little bit of our cast resin. So the reason why we went to 3D printing our cast resin was one was the nesting. It only takes about 3 minutes to nest cast resin. So we roughly about get 72 units. For the most part, when we used to mill our units, we would get 72 units would take us about 30 minutes for nesting, which it would take $3. The print time for the cast resin is 39 minutes, and milling takes about 7 minutes per unit. That's a total of 8 hours and 40 minutes. To clean and remove the supports takes about 7 minutes. To cut and recontour the units coming out of the wax plugs takes about 30 seconds per unit. We save a lot more resin or a lot more material by us using the resin than we would by using the actual wax pucks. Not only that, you also got to take in consideration the tooling costs, and you could also use your milling machines for other products. So we roughly save about 485 minutes or 8 hours in a day by 3D printing the resin, by 3D printing units. I'm going to show you guys a quick video of how fast and easy it is to actually nest units and with the cast resin. So go ahead and select your resin. Go ahead and select your microns and select set. As you can see, we have some bridges, we have some single crowns, and they're all over the place. They're not in the platform, some are higher than others. I'm gonna go ahead and auto place them, so I don't have to manually place every single unit into the platform. That's just amazing. Look how quick that did it. Wow. So now they're all nice and organized. Go ahead and add my support pins. So it's gonna add all my support pins to them, so I don't even have to double check them. I'm just gonna show you guys real quick exactly where to put them, but it does everything for you. You don't have to do any of this manually, so you save a lot of time on it. Okay, so let's go ahead into the model printing and to our NextDent 5100. The type of models that we print are for perio restore product, aligner models, diagnostic waxer models, crown and bridge models, and for Snap-on Smile models. The software is just amazing. We could just nest all those products in the models within 3 minutes. Compared to other printers, as you can see, it takes much longer to nest than it does with the NextDent 5100 software. I'm going to show you guys a quick video of how fast and easy it is to nest 32 models into the software. Same process, select your resin, your color, microns, and the build style. As you can see, all of our models are going to be all over the place. None of them are next to each other. Some are just flat on, and as you can see, they're solid. None of them are hollowed. I'm gonna go ahead and do the stack feature. Now it's gonna hollow it for me. It's gonna add support pins for me, and it's also gonna stack it for me. As you can see, it did all that for me. I don't have to do any of that myself, which it saves me time on labor, not only myself, also my technicians. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys an estimated time. For this job, looks roughly about 2 hours to do 32 models. I would say that's
Oscar,
really quick. Yes.
Um, tell me about the lingual supports there. Do you guys have any issues at all with scarring? Because I know that people shy away from that a lot.
Yeah, so we actually don't have no issues with scarring. Those supports come right off, and no marks are actually left on the lingo of it. So
Nice.
yeah, no issues at all. Awesome. I'm going to go on to my next slide. So the automation is just amazing. I mean, you save 35% just on resin because of the software hollows the models for you. You don't have to do any of that manually. The software does it for you. It adds the support pins for you. All that is done within the software, which also saves you on labor costs. And to remove the parts from the platform is fairly easy. You just give it a little twist or you pull away from the platform and they come right off. Okay, so when we first got the NextDent 5100, we noticed that, all right, let's give it a shot. 96 models is a lot of models in 8 hour shift. We went ahead and tested it out, and we did notice we got 96 models in 8 hour shift. Compared to other printers, they were not able to give that output. So that's what made us really shift over to the NextDent 5100.
I gotta ask, are
Yes.
those all models that you guys have printed, or is that a Photoshop?
No, no, it's actually not a Photoshop. We actually printed all of these, and I want to say we actually got more of them printed now. So maybe I could send you guys a new image of the models that we currently printed.
It's pretty cool.
Awesome, thank you. Here's a quick video of the stack feature with the NextDent 5100 that I took. You could tell that it's just amazing. I mean, it's prints for 2 hours. You get significant models out of it.
Have you had any reliability issues with when you're using the stacking for all those models that you did?
No issues at all. Actually, our liner models we have a jig that we place in them, and the fit is perfectly fine after it comes out of the printer and after we like cure it.
So you're milling your aligners
That is
on
correct.
the, okay, that's cool.
Thank you. Also, the processing is really easy. I mean, like I said before, you just give it a little twist, or you pull away from the platform. The whole stack just comes right off. They're really easy to remove, and you can clean about 20 to 40 models at one run instead of 2 to 4 models as you would with other printers because of the build platform. And you could fit about 14 stacks. Actually, you could fit 14 stacks in it like here. That's really amazing. Okay, so the calibration, there's no calibration needed for the Next F5100, which is amazing because you don't want to be spending time calibrating your printer when you got all these tons of cases to get out. So that's really amazing about the 5100. No calibration needed. They get calibrated at the factory before they get shipped to your location. Compared to other printers, some printers require once a week calibration, which takes 7 minutes per printer. It doesn't seem like a lot, but when you do the math and you have, say, multiple printers of them, it definitely adds up. And some printers, you can't even do the calibration yourself. You actually have to have the manufacturer come out to your location and do the calibration so they can do the calibration, which really holds up production. So the reason why I moved over to the NextDent 5100 was because of the resin trade. The resin trade lasts a lot longer than other printers.
How long
Also,
has it been lasting you, Oscar?
actually, it's really hard for me to say because the only time that we had to switch it was because we had somebody new and we were training them. So it was more of a user error, not so much of the resin trade being run out.
So you've printed all those models that you showed on that table, or plus more in your cast, and you haven't had to change your resin trays. It hasn't worn out at all.
That is correct. And roughly about
Awesome.
those models, I would say about 400 models, and it's still going. So
Mhm.
looking forward to it. Okay. So the next printer, you also don't have any reoccurring fees, and there's no monthly or yearly resin commitments that you have to commit to. Also, the cost of the printer is really low, and you also see your return on investment immediately. That's the amazing part. The other thing I also like about it is because you're able to print splints, dentures, all these other resins without going through specific training or certificates or buying other like here or more equipment. You could do it all on the same printer with everything that you actually bought in the beginning. So the reason why we invested in the 5100 was just the automation of the software. It does everything for you. You save so much on labor, and there's a lot less room for error. I mean, there's no room for error. It just does everything for you. The customer support is amazing. You have any issues or you have any concerns, you get a response right away. And just the overhead cost is it's really low overhead cost. It's more of a plug and play printer. It's so easy that I could teach anybody with no 3D printing experience. All right. thank you guys, and thank you guys for watching.
That was a
uh,
very quick presentation, but
it
you sped right
was.
through that. Good job. No
I
chit
did.
chat.
I didn't think it was gonna be that quick, but if you guys have any questions or if you guys think I missed something, feel free to reach out to me. Here's my email below. Or if you guys want to send us a case, go ahead and just go on into our website, denmat.com, and you can reach us.
So do you guys have any questions? Feel free to put them in the chat box or the Q&A, and we're happy to answer those for you. Furthermore, I'm the dental applications engineer here at 3D Systems. Jim Deere, which is not on the video here, but is available at the booth, is available also to answer any questions that you might have about distributors and things like that. Just real quick, the cost per model on the stacking is about $1.80 to $3. It depends on how thick you want your models and if you want them hollowed and things like that. So there's a lot of different options for that as well. I didn't realize that Oscar was going to be that speedy, so I didn't prepare any slides, but please feel free to contact us via our website. There's all of our information at the booth, and we really appreciate you guys joining us today. So feel free to reach out further. And also, by the way, DenMat does do everything you've seen on there on his first slide. They're experts at luminaires and things like that as well. So feel free to send them a case or learn more from Oscar on how they post-process and process those cases. So I want to thank you for coming. And I see no questions. So we're going to go ahead and adjourn unless you want to sit in here for the next 15 minutes. And so.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you, Andrew, and I really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you everyone for actually attending. Yep.
Oh,
Thank you
hold on a
guys.
second. We have a question. Oscar,
Okay. Yeah.
sorry. How long did it take you guys to install your printers, your NextDent printers? Was it like a full day? Did you need exhaust? What kind of construction did you have to
So
do to be
there's
able to get those NextDent printers in?
so it's real simple. There's actually no exhaust at all. The when we got the printers, I want to say roughly about 20 to 30 minutes, we had all three printers running. So I mean, there's not much to it. It's fairly quick. If you just get the printers, you could get them going that same day. So there's not much waiting for it to get it going.
Cool. Have you had any printers break at all since you've been using them? I think you've had it for almost a year.
Correct. No, they never broke. We've never done a calibration because it's not needed for it. The print qualities has stayed the same. It's not like a year later the quality went down. So that's really good. So yeah, they've been a real success for us. It's a real workhorse for us, and we run it a lot. Like
Now
I would say 20 hours a day.
nice. Wow. And we do have a question here. Do they need to be vented? Which I believe that the exhaust answered that. So you did not vent your printer.
That is correct. We did not.
Do you have any printers that do need to be vented?
We currently do have some printers that do need to be vented.
How much training is needed for someone with little or no printing experience?
If you're, I would say for 3D, the software 3D Sprint, and for going forward with the NextDent 5100, there's no experience needed. I could train someone with no experience and just get them on board, just because it's literally just a simple click, maybe 3 or 4 clicks. It's you just bring in your files, you just generate the supports or do the stack option, and does you do the auto placement, does everything for you.
So it says that here we have another one. Oh, how much training was included? Did your reseller give you training, or was that something
So
that you needed to?
we actually did get training. That was part of the whole package when we got the next steps. But the training is real short. There's not much to it because everything's real simple and it's real easy to get. But then again, if you get stuck after they leave the training or after the training is done, you could always give them a call back and the training will continue. They'll train you again.
It looks like we have another question. Do your printers require an air compressor? And I have heard that actually for some printers, it actually has to pump air into that oxygen area to
Wow.
make it oxygen permeable. Do you?
No, we actually don't have it. We don't have no need for an air compressor for the 3D printer. Just literally just plug and play.
Nice. Do you feel that not having a washing unit is causing any issues with your part cleaning? It looks like somebody may or may not like using the ultrasonic, or there's no washing unit? What do you think about that? Are you having any issues with that?
We currently do use an ultrasonic. Um, that's how we've been using, just because we know it's real efficient, it's quick, and we're a production laboratory, so we don't want parts to sit for a long period of time. We mostly just want to clean them, light cure them, and get them out of the department to the next.
Nice. Okay, how did this system impact your business as compared to your other 3D printers?
So all the other 3D printers, they're all amazing. Don't get me wrong, they're all amazing. It's just the output. The output on the NextDent is more than what it is with the other printers. I mean, we could do 200 to 300 from the other printers, and we could do anywhere from 400 to 550 on the NextDent. So it is a lot more models we get out of it in the 8 hour shift, and a lot less labor actually being spent because the printer runs for 2 hours. You have 32 models in there. It's gonna run for 2 hours. You have your employees that could do other things besides making files or cleaning models or removing models from the platforms.
Hmm. So now, I'm assuming your milling units, that made me think of something. When I was at the lab, running our lab, we never had enough capacity in our milling units. And so we, printing was like the holy grail. We were like, we want to be able to print this. Now, is that the same way with you? Are you now looking for more things that you can print and take off of the mill so you have more capacity for your aligners and things like that?
That is correct. Well, that's actually one of the main reasons why we went from, instead of milling in wax, we went from printing into cast resin, just because it takes too much of our time. I mean, don't get me wrong, the units come out beautiful off the mill, but when it comes down to time, you don't have too much time of it. So that's one of the reasons why we went over to the cast resin, and we are looking into other resins to try different products currently. So we hope to get that going soon.
Well, we'll help you get that going. Does anybody have any more questions before we go?
Does anybody have
Great.
any questions regarding the stack feature?
Actually, I do. Now,
Okay,
you know that a lot of times you can speed up your printer by making bigger slices, right?
that is
And
correct.
3D Systems makes 50 micron slices. We do not increase that slicing. We use other methods of being able to speed up the print. Have you noticed a print quality issue at all with your vertical printing, or a difference between, our a bad quality when it comes to high speeds?
We haven't actually, and that's what's amazing, because we tried it with other printers, and that's when we actually start running into issues. So we're kind of just stuck as far as where when we got the printer. But with the NextDent 5100, the speed is just there, and the quality is still there. And like you said, it's at 50 microns. Other printers can't even they do it at 100 microns and printing, and it takes a lot longer to print.
Hmm. Do you have a specific color of model material that you guys use? Do you use different model material for different indications, or do you stick with the same thing?
We stick within the same thing. We currently use the Model 2.0 with the shade white. We just A lot of doctors actually like that for diagnostic wax ups. They really,
Hmm.
I guess, is more they when they look at it, it's just a white instead of being like a blue or being a yellow.
Hmm.
It's just a white, and it looks more neat. It looks nice, and it looks clean.
Well, I think that's it. I think we're going to let everybody go a little bit early. Thank you again for coming. We'll have some follow-up presentations as well with 3D Systems, so make sure you stay in touch, and we appreciate your time. And thank you, Oscar, very much for joining us.
Thank you, Adrian. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. You guys have a good day.